In assessing a company's ability to sustain profit margins, it's important to determine its power over pricing and what drives its pricing decisions. Are prices largely driven by the cost base, in which case the company may have limited control over costs and will simply attempt to generate a margin by passing costs on to the buyer. Now, buyers may perceive that cost-plus pricing as a reasonable approach. In some cases, the markup is mutually agreed upon by both the buyer and the seller. In product areas that feature relatively similar production costs, cost-plus pricing can offer competitive stability if all firms adopt cost-plus pricing. Cost-based pricing is a way to induce a seller to accept a contract whose total costs represent a large fraction of the seller's revenues, on which the costs are uncertain at contract signing. Buyer-based pricing really is where the prices are based on the buyer, in which case the buyers of the goods or the services have the greater pricing power, and the company is effectively a price taker. Competitor-based pricing is where the pricing power is based on what competitors are doing, meaning that the company can't deviate significantly from what competitors are charging, as if it did, it would render it uncompetitive, or it would seriously erode profit margins. Now, values-based pricing is the pricing that's based on perceived value. So it's a pricing strategy which sets prices primarily according to the perceived or estimated value of a product or a service to the customer, rather than according to the cost of the product or historical prices. Where it's successfully used, it will improve profitability by generating higher prices without impacting greatly on sales volumes. The approach is most successful when products are sold based on emotions, fashion items, for instance, or in niche markets, or when there are shortages. For instance, if you have drinks at a festival or drinks at a conference on a hot summer's day outside, you are able to charge based on the value when people are thirsty. Value-based pricing, in its literal sense, implies basing pricing based on the product benefits perceived by the customer instead of on the exact cost of developing the product. So, for example, a painting may be priced as such. It's much more than the price of the canvas or the paints. The price, in fact, depends a lot on who the painter is. Painting prices also reflect factors such as age or cultural significance, and most importantly, how much benefit the buyer is going to derive. So the pricing power and the pricing method that the company applies is going to have a significant impact on its profitability, and it's going to have a direct impact on its credit risk profile.